Now, first, in the tape process value stream example information, let me help you understand what this process is. The process is a tape manufacturing process. Okay, it's an example of a tape manufacturing process. Tapes are used in various things. You have cellophane tapes, you have packing tapes, you have stickers, you have double-sided tapes, and you have insulation tapes, okay, masking tapes. Now I have deliberately given these numbers. Okay, adhesive tape I'm talking about. Okay, Teflon tape is not an adhesive tape. I'm talking about an adhesive tape. A tape where adhesive is put. And I guess in Teflon tape, yes, Scotch tape is actually the brand name of the product, right? 3M tape, packing tape. Yeah, we spoke about that. So 24 millimeter rolls and 48 millimeter rolls. So which means that almost 1 inch roll and 2 inches roll. So two versions of these products. So if the product description is clear, we'll talk about the process production steps. And this is what is the high level process flow diagram. You have this adhesive, you have this, it is called compounding. It's like making a glue, making a gum, right? And then you have a tape. And that's called as a backing actually. Adhesive can be put on thin film of plastic, which we call POP, right? BOPP we call bioxy polypropylene. Okay, BOPP tape. It's called bioxy polypropylene tapes. That's what typically the packing tapes are made of, that film, right? Polypropylene material. So it can be on the thin film of plastic, or sometimes it could be on a paper also. That's what paper tapes are there. Masking tapes are there generally on papers. It can also be on a sort of flexible rubber type of a material, plastic type of a material. That's what we have in insulation tapes. We can coat it on a foam type of material. That's what is double-sided tapes. And even, you have some wall hangers, right, with double-sided tapes. You can see the foam type of material there. Yeah, doctor tapes are there. Correct. Yeah, some sort of tapes are also used in medical industry, the healthcare industry, sorry. So tape coating and then slitting, cloth-based, even in the cloth it is applied. Okay, tapes are applied, the adhesive is applied on the cloth also. Earlier, the insulation tapes actually come in black type, and then it's a cloth-based. Slitting. Slitting means cutting is different from slitting actually. When actually the cutting is very, very thin, it is called slitting. You slit into two. You can also divide it into two parts. Yeah, divided into multiple parts is called slitting. Thank you for that. That's the exact way of talking about slitting. And then packaging and shipping. Cut lengthwise and slit widthwise. Now, having said this, let's go into the adhesive compounding. Means adhesive raw materials are combined. Adhesive means something that sticks. And what are the raw materials? Generally, if you're talking about rubber-based adhesives, what they do is they have a solvent. Solvent means it's a chemical which evaporates, okay? Like for example, acetone, alcohol is a solvent. So this solvent is actually called toluene, T-O-L-O-U-N-E, something, toluene, okay? And in that, the rubber is put. There are also natural rubber you can put, or synthetic rubber you can put. The rubber actually dissolves in the solvent, making a sticky paste. So this is how a rubber-based adhesive, I'm just telling at a very high level, okay? Of course, there are a lot of additives and things like that added. A simplest form of a rubber-based adhesive manufacturing. We had also consulted a company called Bostix Adhesives. The manufacturing head actually who gave me the lean project where we actually served for 1.5 years was also the part of the first batch of lean practitioner blueprint, and also subsequently the maintenance person also joined. So that is rubber-based adhesive. There is also something called as water-based adhesives. Water-based adhesives means I want to really give this bit of information because we all come here for learning. I hope this is okay. This extra information is okay for all of you. And since I have gone into this case study, I remember each and every chemical and compound that they have used. Water-based adhesives, they also have something called as butyl acrylate monomer, vinyl acetate monomer. That's also a solvent. And then they put methyl acrylic acid and they mix a lot of things after that. There are a lot of adhesives and it's mixed. So adhesive materials are combined. This is what I mean by the materials are being combined. And it is like, at various stages, various chemicals are added and mixed. It's called as a kettle in some places. It's called as a reactor in some places. Yeah, resins. Resins is also a form of adhesives. So tape coating. Coating is nothing but, it is like when you're sticking something, you apply a coating of adhesive on that to the backing. So similarly here also on a film, this adhesive is applied, thin layer of adhesive is applied. And then slitting. Slitting is parting also, they call it parting. They divide into two. They divide into multiple rolls, slit. And then packaging. Packaging is the rolls are plastic wrapped, labeled and packed into boxes for shipping. And shipping is the box of paper are shipped to the customers. If the VSM example information so far is clear, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, this is some basic information. So example information, customer requirement. Now let us understand the customer information. From Acme case study, we know that from value stream mapping on the top right side is the customer and the customer requirement. I have deliberately used the word 24 and 48 interchangeably here so that when you get the answer, I want to make sure if you get the right answer, that means conceptually your understanding is right. So customer requirement is 480,000 of 24 mm rolls and 240,000 of 48 mm rolls. And again, I've used this 24 and 48 interchangeably. 48 rolls per box for 24 mm and 24 rolls per box for 48 mm tapes. So the maximum order quantity of one pallet is, the maximum order quantity of one pallet is 96 boxes. And we are saying one shipment per day to the customer and distribution is by truck. And I've added some extra information. The demand is highly variable. The reason that I've added this information is when the demand is highly variable, you should always see during the takt time calculation, what is the, what do you say? When you take the average customer demand, will you take it on season-wise basis or a monthly basis or a weekly basis? What is the period? Okay, what is the period in which you will take the customer? I was not getting the word period, okay? What is the period for which you will take the customer demand to calculate the takt time? That's why I put the word customer demand is highly variable. Because takt time, what is takt time? It is the available time divided by the customer demand. But customer demand for what period? In Acme case study, we said monthly the customer requirement is the same. So we calculate it was very easy to calculate the takt time. Suppose next month the takt time might differ if the demand is highly variable. Now, after having given the customer requirements, now work time. Work time is, let's see, because we have to know two things for takt time calculation. Your available time to manufacture this and also your customer requirement, right? Work time 20 days in a month, 10 days no work, 8 hours in every shift. And every shift you have 2 15-minute break. And all process stops during breaks. Okay, all process stops. See, if process doesn't stop, then that break is not used for demand available. The break is not minus, removed from the available 8-hour time. And 3-shift operation. What are the key raw materials in that? Order film, the film is there, one raw material, rubber. And we are talking about here the rubber-based adhesives, okay? Rubber, resin is also there, solvent is also there. And for suppliers, one shipment per month comes of each raw material. Observed inventory is 26 days of each item. Now the question here is, in the Acme case study, we said the coil is 5 days of inventory, and then the coil goes into welding 1, welding 2, assembly 1, assembly 2, and then finally whatever shipment, right? And we said coil is 5 days of inventory. Now, coil is only one raw material. The coil is only 5 days. Suppose in value stream mapping, how many raw materials should you show like that? For example, in this case, film is also some inventory, rubber is also some key raw material, resin is also a key raw material, solvent is also a raw material. My question to you is, which raw material should you show? What will you call as major in this? How will you define major raw material? Should we map only one raw material? Okay, let me, 2-3 critical raw material is the right answer. Okay, you can have 2-3 raw materials, but the inventory what you will take is whichever raw material has highest inventory, that is what you will take for lead time calculation. So the answer to this question is, if you have 15 raw material, you can map up to 2-3 raw materials. You can put up to 2-3 raw material. I have put 3 suppliers, and I have put one supplier comes by flight. The material comes by flight, and the other suppliers, it comes by ship. The third suppliers, it comes by truck, and all that I have represented. And when you are calculating the lead time calculation, that raw material, which is having the highest inventory, please bring it down. Actually, constrained raw material, if it doesn't matter, the raw material might be constrained. Just because it's a constrained raw material doesn't mean it has to come in the map. You can deal with it separately. You don't need to put it in the value stream map and then discuss. Value stream mapping is not a forum where you will have to put and express to the management it's a constraint. It's a constraint means a constraint. We know that. That supplier is goofing up or the raw material is scarcity and things like that. Okay, normally we focus lies on value or volume of raw material. In value stream mapping, it is on the final product, customer requirement value or volume. Okay, in product process matrix. When it comes to raw material, in inventory classification, you can put volume, value, A, B, C, and all that stuff. But as far as value stream mapping is concerned, the major consumption of a raw material in a product, maybe top 2 or 3 raw material in a product. In case of adhesive, it is just, it's a film, it's solvent, and those things, rubber or whatever, those key things you can put it in the supplier side. Yeah, it will increase the lead time. That's the whole thing. That's the whole objective. We will discuss about that. This is a very subjective discussion. And that's why I want to say the answer and leave it at that point and not discuss about it at this point in time. We will actually discuss, debate about that. So receives let's say the team has gathered this process VSM example also, information also. Like for example, they have chosen these process parameters. What are the process parameters they have chosen? They have chosen cycle time, changeover time, run time, available time, waste percentage, shifts per day, number of operators, observed inventory, etc. And what are the processes? Compounding, coating, slitting, right? Packing, all that. Now, this is the information that we have gathered. Production control, they receive the yearly forecast and monthly orders from customers. Now, mentally, you can start mapping. They receive the yearly forecast and monthly orders from the customers and the distribution. This is a typical tape, right? Tape goes through distributors. Issues a weekly production scheduling to the compounding, coating, slitting, packaging, a monthly master plan to coating and daily ship scheduling. Now, for those who attended for first time, may not be very clear about this, but for those who already have attended the value stream map, they can mentally map, okay, issues a weekly production schedule to each of these compounding, coating, slitting, and a monthly master plan to coating. Okay, monthly master plan quoting apart from weekly production schedule, daily ship schedule to shipping. Now, mentally you can map. How many of you are able to mentally put these maps? If you're not, we are going to do anyways, okay? And once you have seen this next batch you attend, it will be crystal clear. And then when you want to put for your, as and when people are giving information, you can start putting the maps. Packaging scheduled ad hoc based on what slitter is running. So packaging is, there is no plan for packaging. They are told, boss, whatever slitter comes out, you pack. There is no production plan. They can give a plan also. Quarterly forecast and monthly orders to raw material. Our resin suppliers, our film suppliers, we are giving a quarterly forecast. But orders, we give monthly orders. And so this is the process step information below. These are the information that is gathered from the Gemba, the workplace. Additional information, very important. It is actually 80,000 liters, which we call 80 ton batch size, 80 ton kettle batch size. Compounding is done. And solution for 1 square meter of coating, 1 liter is consumed. You'll have to go through this 2-3 times to comprehend this. And they are all stored in what is called totes, T-O-T-E-S. It's a sort of large storage bags, 1,000 liters. Coating. 24 mm roll consumes 1 square meter of coating material and 48 mm roll consumes 2 square meter of coating material. Now, I've deliberately changed the units. Input jumbo. Jumbo means what? That roll. How many of you went to this clothing shop and you found that he took a big clothing roll? In olden days, I don't know now, even still it is there. We always used to get the cloth and then we stitch our shirts. So he used to take a big roll and show the rolls. So the huge rolls are called jumbos, jumbo rolls. No slitting. 48 rolls per cut for 24 mm rolls and 24 rolls per cut for 48 mm rolls. If you see the video, there are blades, thin blades, and in the roll, these blades are kept between the spacers. It's called as a spacer, okay? So that exactly you get 24 mm. And then center, there is a blade. And the roll just touches that and then it gets slitted. So per cut means the arm moves and touches that and it slits. If it is a 24 mm roll, then a 24 mm roll per cut, then 48 mm rolls are there. 48 rolls are there. 48 rolls for 24 mm and 24 rolls per cut for 48 mm. Packaging. This is a little simple. 36 seconds to pack a box, either size, whichever, whether it is 48 mm or 24 mm. He takes only 36 seconds to pack.